Hi, I'm Zach from Garden Theory. Today we're going to be talking about your essential plants for a low maintenance garden space. One of the first ones I'm going to be talking about today is actually one that we have a lot of, and that is your lawn. Grasses are one of the most high maintenance plants that we have. We water it, we mow it weekly to keep it clean and trim. It's one of the most high maintenance plants that you can have. And so my first recommendation is actually to reduce the amount of lawn that you have. There's a principle in landscape design that I like to use, and that's form follows function. So if your lawn space doesn't have any function, then I would consider doing something that's much more low maintenance. One quick tip for you before we move on to our next one is the Xeriscaping Association only recommends that you have 30% of your total landscape area to be lawn at the most. And now moving on to our second tip. We're going to be talking about native plants in general, but don't worry, I'll recommend a couple for you. So native plants are a great low maintenance plant to have. They typically require less water once established, and they are more drought tolerant in general. Some of my favorite native plants that you can plant in your garden space are black-eyed Susans. I would recommend black-eyed Susans for a beautiful amber yellow wave of fall colors, as well as native aster species that compare nicely with black-eyed Susans. I also recommend some native grasses, such as northern sea oat, or one of the other names that I like, fish on a pole. There's also native ground covers that can work if you have more of a shady location, such as golden ragwort and Virginia bluebells. There are many different native plants that you can choose from, and I would recommend checking a organization called wildones.org, especially if you live here in the United States. They offer a great variety of different native plants you can look at. They offer different landscape designs that they've done for your specific state, and they also help to provide a list of nurseries that sell native plants local to your own personal area. And for our third step, I'm going to recommend that you learn more about permaculture. Now, this is something that I am currently looking more into, but permaculture, somewhat similar to xeriscaping, it's maximizing our efficiency with the land, maximizing our water use. I'm trying to hold on to the water as long as possible and to create a landscape that can last beyond your own lifetime. And it's a pretty interesting thing to look into. I'm still learning more about it myself, but some of the things that I find interesting are bioswales. If you've ever watched the movie The Biggest Little Farm, that's a very good example of permaculture in action. It's something that I'm going to try to do a full video on as I go in on deep dive and researching it myself. But I would recommend learning about that as well, especially if you own property on some land where you can really make a difference for your local ecosystem that exists. It's very fascinating. But those are my three tips on creating a low maintenance garden that's different from your normal American average suburban home. And if you're interested in learning more about these things along with me, feel free to subscribe. And we're going to be continual learning on this channel as we continue to learn more about landscape design and different plants, as well as different styles of gardening. That's why I named this channel Garden Theory, because I believe there's no one correct way to do a landscape. There's very many different ways and different cultures that approach landscape in a completely different way from my own. So I'm hoping to learn more about different methods of landscape design throughout the next few years on this channel, and I hope you'll tag along with me. And hopefully I can share a little bit of knowledge with y'all, and hopefully the same to me. So please leave any questions you have about how you can create a better landscape for yourself, as well as any tips and advice that you have for me on this channel. So thank you for watching Garden Theory, and it's been a pleasure.